Hello, my name is Dana Marie Kennedy, and I'm the State Director for AARP Arizona. Welcome to what we trust will be an informative but relatively brief overview on long-term care in Arizona, a checkup on the state of long-term care, and a few ways to modernize the program. Now we invite you to think differently about how Arizona delivers its long-term care services. So what is long-term care? Long-term care is day-to-day help needed by older adults and those living with disabilities, including activities of daily living. Activities of daily living are basic activities necessary for independent living. There are 5 categories. 1, personal hygiene, bathing, showering, grooming, nail care, and oral care. 2, dressing, being able to make appropriate clothing decisions and physically dress and undress oneself. 3, eating, the ability to feed oneself, though not necessarily the capability to prepare the food. 4, maintaining continence, being able to mentally and physically use the restroom. This includes the ability to get on and off the toilet and cleaning oneself. 5, transferring and mobility, being able to stand from a sitting position as well as get in and out of bed. The ability to walk independently from one location to another. The level of independence for persons needing long-term care is based on whether they can perform these activities on their own or whether they need help from caregivers. In your role as a decision maker for Arizona's long-term care system, it is essential to recognize that Arizona has one of the fastest growing senior populations, 60 plus, of any U.S. state, and will soon account for 20% of Arizona's total population. As of 2021, there are 7.4 million Arizonans living in Arizona, and 1.3 million are 60 and over. There are 229.8 thousand Arizonans over 75 and 145.5 thousand 80 years and older. That makes Arizona the 4th most rapidly aging state. It's imperative that you know that Arizonan seniors over 60 account for 20% of Arizonans' economic activity. The retirement industry is Arizona's 2nd largest. Monthly Social Security payments to Arizona seniors are approximately 1.7 billion total Social Security payments for people 65 plus, and that doesn't account for the churning of those funds in the economy. In short, Arizona has a longevity economy driven by Arizonans 50 plus. It's vital for the longevity economy that Arizona has a healthy long-term care system, for which taxpayers fund about 70% of long-term care residential facility care costs. For purposes of this presentation, long-term care residential facilities include nursing homes and assisted living facilities. But is Arizona long-term care system ailing? The answer is an emphatic yes. So let's take a look at Arizona's long-term care system through a checkup. What are the symptoms that signal Arizona's long-term care system is failing? To date, over 17,000 Arizonans have died from contracting the COVID-19 virus. We do not know how many long-term care facilities due to a lack of transparency. We do know that as of March 2021, there were over 2,500 deaths in skilled nursing facilities. We don't know how many in assisted living facilities. The starkest symptoms of an ailing system is that the long-term care residential facilities residents are dying at a rate of 20 times greater than the COVID pandemic death rate for all other Arizonans. Since COVID-19 pandemic began, the occupancy rate for long-term care residential facilities has plummeted and remains depressed at approximately 70% occupancy. Waitlist for long-term and home and community-based service remains unduly long, in excess of 1,266 applicants as of December 2020. So what is the diagnosis for what ails Arizona's long-term care system? The 3 C's: consumer, confidence, and collapse. So what are the treatments for the 3 C's? What can be done to restore consumer confidence in the long-term care system? Arizona must bring its residential facility long-term care model to the 21st century. Continuing to do the same old thing and expecting a different results is sheer folly. The underlying treatments build on the adage, the best defense is a good offense. Possible longer-term actions include incentivizing the building or renovations of long-term care facilities that lessen the density of residents and staff populations, and which lend themselves to minimizing casual and professional contact between residents, staff, visitors, and contractors. The greenhouse model uses more home-like environments, either new or remodeled or repurposed facilities that put a premium on housing and serving fewer residents in smaller, contained quarters with staff exclusively serving those residents. The state can incentivize long-term care industries who implement the less is more concept by providing them with higher performance quality measures, which determine payment rates from taxpayer funds. Remember, the best defense is a good offense. Home and community-based services include programs that aid recipients and their families, friends, neighbors, and representative caregivers. For example, community care for the elderly, home care, Alzheimer's support services, and respite for caregivers, because these programs deliver services in the recipient's homes and communities. They reduce opportunity for infection in communal settings. Furthermore, home and community-based services generally can serve 3 to 4 recipients with the resources devoted to one long-term care facility. Home and community-based services are a good investment strategy for taxpayer funds. Generally, people refer to age in place in their home or communities. The best way to make this happen is to minimize initial placement into long-term care residential facilities. We need to expand our Alltech program so more people can qualify who may not qualify now because of the low income qualifications. Here are some shorter term actions. Simply implement the CDC guidelines regarding COVID-19. Implement rigorous recurring infection disease training for long-term care facility staff. Provide adequate PPE, personal protective equipment, for staff and visitors. Require infection disease testing, frequently recurring, for residents, staff, and visitors. Provide for social distancing by residents, staff, and visitors. Minimize congregate activities. For example, reduce the number of persons allowed at the same time in a dining or living area. Minimize resident and staff contacts. For example, let 5 nursing staff perform 10 activities of daily living services for 5 people rather than 10 nursing staff performing 5 activities of daily living services for 10 people. Use technology to enable remote services. Be caregivers for family, friends, neighbors, and representative caregivers. 870,000 caregivers in Arizona provide 730 million unpaid care hours annually in Arizona. Aid for caregivers is a good investment strategy for taxpayer funds because it often forestalls or precludes recipients from needing more expensive care in residential long-term care services. Some more shorter-term actions include providing strict, comprehensive oversight of long-term care facilities by state and local regulators. Require maximum reporting by transparency by state, local regulators of enforcement activities and by long-term care residential facilities. Reform long-term care facility operations now by increasing nursing staff levels, augmenting with other direct care workers, incentivizing through higher reimbursement rates for facilities with high acuity care need residents, establishing salary scales, benefits sufficient to attract and retain nursing staff and other direct care staff, incentivizing top performing facilities through the use of performance quality measures. What is the prognosis for recovery from the consumer confidence collapse, or the 3 Cs? If Arizona innovates, long-term care services will flourish. Arizona must demonstrate its commitment to home and community-based services, long-term care placements, and to providing a nursing and home-like environment in nursing homes, and to provide a safe and meaningful assistance for residents of assisted living facilities. If Arizona long-term care stagnates, long-term care services will perish. If Arizona does not implement these or similar proposals, then history will likely repeat itself during surges of this pandemic and in times of other disasters. This past year has been extremely difficult for families and residents in long-term care facilities. I want to thank you so much for being open to hearing our proposal so that our vulnerable adults are well cared for as they age, whether it be in the home or in a long-term care facility. The AARP team is working for you.